Hello, I'm doing predictions for the future. Just so little predictions. It'll be funny if some of this happens. Most of it probably won't, but I'm gonna tell you what I think. So, start up, and we're talking about foreign affairs, like the world, all that stuff, all that beautiful stuff. So, what I think it'll start off with is the Russia-Ukraine war will probably end, let's say, pretty soon. Like maybe in 2025, 2026, probably 2025. By Russia, they get all the territory they have. Ukraine has to withdraw from Kursk, I think, something like that. The the territory that they've stepped foot into Russian territory is, if you get what I mean. It says Russia stepped into some, so Ukraine stepped into some Russian territory. Anyways, so yeah, I think that will end up happening, and there'll be some NATO restrictions with Ukraine that they won't be able to join NATO for the next, let's say, for the next like 10, 20, 30 years. So yeah, and I think Russia, after that war, they'll end up being crumbles. Like, not total crumbles, like Russian Civil War or post Holy Roman Empire or type crumbles. We're talking like general kind of instability with the country. Like like what I mean by that is Russian people pissed off that the invasion kind of flopped, and now they have global sanctions, all that stuff, all the good stuff. Yeah, I think that'll something like that probably happen, and the Russian economy will completely go into shambles. Like, generally. And then I think sometime in the. And then I think the Israel Hamas war will probably end pretty soon, like within the next year or 2 years, with with rather they, which I think is probably most likely, they get they get um the Gaza Strip, and then they and then they um say they let me think for a second. Okay, and then the Americans, I think at least they'll go and be like, okay, yep, we're not gonna, like, you're done, quit it, to say to Hezbollah and Iran, and that's how I think that war will end up. Anyway, so now we got most of the current wars and how it'll probably end up, or at least in my thinking. Next, I think some form. I think there's probably going to be some sort of a like a kind of Balkan war between Kosovo and Serbia. And yet, I think Albania might interfere. I think if they would try to go war, they'd probably be trying to bait Serbia into it because they're part of NATO, and again, Article 5, I think, says attack one NATO member is against attack all. So they try and bait Serbia into it. Serbia probably won't. Actually, Serbia might bite. I'm not sure on that. I think Albania will try and bait him. And Kosovo, I think they'll probably end up generally. I think they'll. Eh, tough to say. I think they'll probably fend off another Serbian invasion. Yeah, I think that's probably more likely. And then, and then I think South Korea and Japan will probably add say, some extra like population, like trying to birth benefits or like child benefits. Like I don't know, say you got a child, oh, we'll give you a tax break, we'll give you this, yeah. I think that's probably gonna happen in one of the two countries. Actually, probably both, something like that. And I think mainly Japan will try and restrict tourism more, try and shut their doors a bit to tourism because, I mean, look at Japan when it comes to like tourists. Look at Tokyo. Yeah, you'll see. You'll see what I mean. Yeah, I think they'll restrict tourism by quite a bit. And then I think, like, slowly throughout the century, the US will kind of lose their grip on, like, the world order. And another country, I'd, I'd say the best bet would be, like, China. But yeah, I part of me thinks so, but part of me doesn't. But I think China's the most likely candidate to be the new world order after the U.S. say stops getting the world order. Because the reason why I think the U.S. is gonna lose their grip on world order is because I mean look at the how the latest American elections have been going. Last few already, it there's been accusations on elections being rigged, and people storming the I think the White House. I mean, that's pretty bad for a country, and the military's in terms of military personnel, the U.S. Isn't doing the best on. So I don't think the U.S. will completely collapse. Just want to state that I don't think it'll completely collapse, but it'll be more like a regional power, kind of like the UK or Germany, something like that. So yeah, that's what I think will probably happen with them. And let's get and anyways, let's go to what I think the future of North Korea will be. Let's get on to that. Because I think that's quite an interesting topic to think of. So what I think will happen with North Korea is it'll probably go because I know they're furthering restrictions and all that stuff. And what I think will happen within the next 50, 100 years. It sounds like a law, I know. But I think will happen is North Korea. They'll further they'll they'll take restrictions too far, and then a leader, and then at one point a Korean leader will go and simply say, you know what, we're done with this. say we're not going to rule in like tyranny, and then they try and increase freedom of the press, all that stuff, and then North Koreans get pissed. That's one ending of the country. Another possibility. Another possibility is that, well, let's say another possibility on a way North Korea ends is by the restrictions increasing, and then more people go like, you know what, we want to try and get out of this, and they try and break the rules, and I think it'll start like to become bad towards the northern regions or borders with like China and Russia, because then they'll see how great the West is. I think it'll end up being, and then North Koreans will go like, fuck this, we are done. Then they'll try and overthrow the government. So yeah, that's what I think of the future. I know I'm stupid, so but yeah, there's what I think will probably happen in the future. Tell me if I'm right. Thank you.